Let's get into the show. I want to talk about quite a few things, actually, but I want to start off with primarily the big talking point. And I'm not exclusively picking on Samuel Luckhurst here in the Manchester Evening News, although he has been banned before for this sort of thing. Basically put a story out today. Now, Beth's done a great job today on the morning show and the afternoon show. I've been busy doing other things, and but I thought this is my show tonight. So let me read the article so I don't get misquoted. Erik ten Hag is expected to come under greater pressure at Manchester United if they lose badly to Liverpool on Sunday. Well-placed sources say Ten Hag's position will be viewed as weaker if they suffer a third successive defeat at Anfield. Barring another annihilation by their greatest rivals, Ten Hag is still expected to remain in charge for the fixture away to West Ham on December the 23rd. I detest this type of article. I have to acknowledge freedom of speech. I have to acknowledge that journalists can write what they want and should write what they want. But I can say what I want, and you can say what you want as well within reason. There's nothing in that article from the Manchester Evening News or Samuel Luckhurst that's toxic, abusive, or out of line. I will say that straight away. And there'll be nothing that's toxic or abusive or out of line from me in my response. But what I will say is that how does this help Manchester United Football Club? And these journalists, I don't think you're journalists, really. I don't think you're journalists. I think you are 100% dependent on your relationship with Manchester United. I think if you don't have your press conference access, you are nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I question why it is you bite the hand that feeds you. That is my problem with this. I think it's a disgrace, to be honest. Manchester Evening News, The Telegraph, whatever, those journalists who follow Manchester United around are dependent on the access they get to the press conferences. If that is revoked, what are you? What are you? And yet, you think it's a good idea to put articles out about well-placed sources telling you that if we get annihilated on Sunday, Ten Hag could lose his job. How does that help the club that feeds you? And I'm not saying that you should be helping the club that feeds you, but I don't understand the point of your well-placed source. Who is your well-placed source? Because I know that Ineos aren't thinking of getting rid of Ten Hag yet because they haven't even got their feet under the table. I know that the current CEO, which it actually says in Luckhurst's article, hasn't got the power to sack Erik ten Hag. And I wouldn't imagine John Murtagh has. So the only person that's got the power to sack Erik ten Hag is Joel Glazer, who won't want to sack anyone because it's going to cost him 20 million quid. So who is the well-placed source? That's what I'm asking. And I'm like, look, your whole repertoire is based on access to Manchester United, and you want to jeopardise that with what is quite clearly nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And also, I'm pretty sure you'll want to be in the press conference next week. I'm pretty sure you'll want to be in the press conference next year. If Manchester United lose at the weekend, how does that benefit you unless you want the manager to go? And I think that's what it all comes down to. And that's my sort of tap into the empty net. I think that this is I'm absolutely convinced that these journalists never wanted Ten Hag in the first place, and that's why they never stop bitching about well-placed sources about this manager. We've had dressing room links for 18 months. And we're now getting that Ten Hag's job could be in danger if he loses to Liverpool. Well, we all know we're going to lose to Liverpool. So what's that all about? And what good does that do to a fan base which is still behind this manager, but certain fans aren't? They're actually going to start hoping we get beat on Sunday. And what does it do to a dressing room that we know is split? Well, the players that, they might read that and think, well, you know what, if I down tools again. I just think my issue with this is we're not playing Bournemouth at home. We're playing Liverpool away. And if you know anything about this football club, anything at all, Liverpool are our biggest rival. I don't care if David Moyes is in charge. I want to go and win on Sunday. Nothing is worth losing to Liverpool. And yet we have stories about if he loses at the weekend, he might lose his job. And I've seen people going, this could be it. Get ready. And I'm like, who are you? Who are you? What? I don't give a shit if Scott McTominay scores 20 goals on Sunday as long as we win. This is Manchester United against Liverpool. And I think this is where we go wrong. Our fan base needs to unite around the things that are important, and not losing to Liverpool is very, very important. It's who we are. I'm not going to name names, but I spoke to somebody today and they said, I wouldn't mind getting beat 5 or 6-0 if I knew that Ten Hag was getting the sack on Monday. And I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You take getting beat 5 or 6-0 by Liverpool to replace a manager. We've replaced managers more times than you've replaced your pants over the last 10 years. Replacing a manager, wow. Losing to Liverpool like 5 or 6-0 again, it's difficult. It's really difficult to deal with. That's what we're doing on Sunday. And this is my point. We should all be united for the war we have on Sunday. We're going to war against our biggest rival at Anfield. And there's so much backstabbing and dissent. I don't get it. I just do not get it. I don't know whether these journalists support Manchester United or not, or whether they're just on the bloody payroll, but we're Manchester United. We should be getting behind the team and the manager and the players and the club and the fans collectively, because we're going to play Liverpool. There is no joy in getting beat by Liverpool. I don't care what happens next. I don't care whether Ten Hag gets a new contract if he wins or if he gets sacked if he loses. All I'm focused on is a massive game. And this just detracts from it. It detracts from it. And I you know what? I think it does need calling out, because I just do not think it's right to be going into a game like this after the season we've had with rumours that Ten Hag could be under increasing pressure to get the sack if he loses to Liverpool. They're top of the bloody league. They've not lost a game all season apart from the one VAR took away from them. I do not expect us to win on Sunday, but I'm not giving up. I am not giving up. And I want those players to go and fight for the fans who are behind them. That's what I want to see. But, I think, and I said this a few weeks ago, I feel that this is almost a tipping point where the media are fed up of social media, where the media are losing their voice. And I think that this is their last throw of the dice to try and sack a manager when they don't have fan support. I think they are pushing and pushing and pushing, constantly trying to push stories against Ten Hag. And actually, nothing from the club suggests he's going to get the sack. Nothing from Ineos is suggesting he's going to get the sack. And 70 to 80% of the fans are behind the manager. So it just feels to me a little bit like the Pochettino push 18 months ago. It's the media. I think the media are pushing this.